Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, however you may be watching and wherever you are. Thanks for tuning in. We are going to be doing a special edition of the stream, at least to start out here, but more so a special edition of my podcast, Pirate Talk Radio, of which it releases every single week at some point during the week, depending on my schedule. And we're doing a live recording because schedules and COVID-19 and yeah, a lot of stuff is going on. So we're gonna do that live. This episode will be up on the YouTubes as well as all of your podcast app needs. Just search for Pirate Talk Radio on any of those applications. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button on the podcast so you can get your weekly dose of my voice talking about Sea of Thieves. Now, the past couple episodes, I won't say that I've been very nice to Rare. I haven't been very nice to Rare. I've been very critical of the updates. Just very, very critical. So today, I want to step away from that. We've talked a lot about adventure recently, and I want to step away from adventure because there's this entire other way to play the game that's not adventure. It's something called Team Deathmatch. No, it's called Arena. It's not Team Deathmatch. If you go into the arena and you sit there and say TDM, you're part of the problem. But what I also want to talk about, not so much the mechanics necessarily of the arena, not so much hit reg, not so much the game itself, but a grassroots organization outside the game that has been working and putting something pretty awesome together that is growing each and every year and each and every season. And it's another way for players that might not be having a good time with adventure or feel the game is stale, but still want to sail and fight and do that stuff. Especially if you're a competitive person, this has a place for you. So we know in the past 10 years, eSports has been big, huge, massive. We have ESPN covering video games and video game players. And we've got games like Fortnite and Apex Legends and Counter-Strike and Valorant now and Magic the Gathering, World of Warcraft Arena, Hearthstone, League of Legends. All these games out here have people playing at a very high level competitively to, in the end of the day, win money and fame and all that stuff. So why on earth am I talking about eSports and Sea of Thieves? Well, there is a group out there, a lot of teams out there, and it's a group called the Notorious Arena League. And today, I have brought a friend of mine, and may I say, a recently elected pirate lord of the Cutthroat Pirates, your man VP. He is a referee, and he is a staff member of the Notorious Arena League. And we're going to talk about what this is, how to participate in it, what are awards that you can win, and stuff like that. So, VP, are you out there? Are you there?
What's going on, man?
I got you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, brother. How are you, Devin?
Oh, I'm here trying to survive this work at home craziness and everything else like that.
I hear you, brother. I'm vertical, man. That's all I. that's,
Yeah.
that's about all I can say right now.
So, first off, congratulations on your election to Pirate Lord. I don't envy you because that's a lot of work. So, congratulations on that.
Thanks, dude. I'm pumped for these next 2 months. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I will
A lot of
try
fun.
not to make your life hell. I usually do a pretty good job of not annoying the Pirate Lord that much. So,
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
All right, so you were a captain, you were a player in the notorious Arena League for the team Lions Mane. I don't remember. Were you a founder of that team?
So so that's kind of been like a running joke. So my nickname in there is the Bear of the Lion's Mane, but I actually, well, again, jokingly say that I'm the unofficial official manager of the Lion's Mane team. But I did actually play in season one. However, I played for a team under the title of Shrouded Scourge,
Okay.
and that was during season one of the NAL.
Okay. Okay. And how many seasons are we on now? Now I know we've got two different divisions. We've got the semi-pro and the pro, and then more so two different worldly divisions in NA and EU, because we know pings and latency just doesn't play right if you're fighting each other, although some teams do cross over. How many seasons? The NA's been around the longest. How many seasons is the NA on now?
Yeah, man. So this actually will start season 4 of the North American NAL, which is crazy to
And,
think that we've even gotten this far.
yeah, and what, season 2 or 3 for EU?
This will be season 2 for
Season 2.
EU.
I thought they just started last season. I thought that's what it was, but I just couldn't remember. So yeah, and yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that, first off, Arena is a very competitive place. Now we have the old Arena, which I never got to partake in. I only know the new Arena. And what we have right now with the cannon battles and everything like that. But it's crazy to think that, this organization has now transcended two different, very different arena styles of play, and they're just growing each and every year. How many teams? Because the tryouts for this season for NA just happened, I believe. How many teams tried out this year to be part of the NAL?
So we had the biggest turnout we've had yet. So for season 4, we just had our qualifiers last week, as you just mentioned. We had 15 different teams sign up to try and gain a spot for the NA season 4,
And how
which is
many
mind
actually
blowing.
make it in?
So we have 10 teams actually qualify. So we had to cut, and
Right.
5 teams were unable to make it in. So we have 10 teams now competing for season 4.
So you had to cut basically 1/3 of the teams, just because, again, you can't have everyone competing, right? You've got to limit it because the seasons are so long. There's a prize support, which we'll talk about. Rare has been involved a little bit as far as some giveaways and stuff like that, which we'll talk about. And one of the new things that just happened last season that's pretty cool, which we'll talk about, coming from Rare. But ultimately, 15 teams, you cut it down to 2 groups of 5. You've got a pro division, which is your best of your best, and you've got your semi-pro division, which is your, and it's so hard. It's like cutting hairs, because all these teams are awesome.
Very true. And that's the hard part, right? Is having to cut teams and then break them down in divisions. But the whole goal, the whole mission of the NAL is to find the best crew on the Sea of Thieves. And so nobody likes losing. Nobody likes, getting cut and saying they can't play. But hey, when it comes down to it, you know what you sign up for,
Right.
and that's really what we want to see. So that's been one of the coolest aspects of it all, is to see how many people are getting involved, how many people really think that they can claim that title, and then put it all on the line when it comes time for those Saturday match days. Who's ready and who's really prepared?
And what's fascinating to me, and again, I just kind of figured, I just learned about this during last season, somewhere around, I think, the beginning of last season, and seeing it this season and talking to friends that I've made now that play on some of these teams. What's fascinating is, if you look at, let's say, an esport, League of Legends, right? When you watch in a League of Legends, it's always Team Liquid, TSM, Cloud9. You know the names. You see them every year, Immortals. And you see different faces, or the faces kind of trade teams, but you never see really new teams. And what's crazy to me is looking, and I'm guessing, is the website, I think, is updated here with these teams. What's interesting is there are teams that have kind of flip-flopped, and teams that you don't necessarily see all the time. that didn't quite make it this time, or made it and they're a new team that no one's heard of before. Which is what's fascinating to me is though all these teams have fans. I mean, a lot of these teams have merch and fans watching the stream each and every week. But it's crazy to me that there are so many teams, and every year it's not the same groups, or every season it's not the same groups fighting each other. You know, some really awesome teams. Someone may have won last season. It didn't happen, I don't think, this time, but some may have won last season and not even make it the next season.
Yeah, and that was a really tough decision that we had to make as staff is, depending on how many teams signed up, do we give buy-ins? Do we, let teams who qualified and made it to the finals of last season, get a free entry? But like you said, a lot of the rosters change. Some of the core members, maybe stay. But then how do we go about allowing a whole brand new roster for a team that sure made it to the finals, but now that's not that same composition of players. And
Right.
so yeah, it's been crazy to see where teams, disband and where they, maybe trade their team out for a new one to build a better roster and all these different things. But it has been absolutely mind blowing and very, very rewarding to see all these new teams, want to sign up and really just want to get on board with kind of what we're producing as a staff.
And now what's also fascinating to me, not only do you have teams, coming in and coming out because of skill or another team's better, but there are a lot of people. There's a Discord out there, and we'll promote that in a little bit, but there's a lot of people out there who want to be a part of this. So not only do you have these teams trying out to make it into this group to have a chance at being the number one, Sea of Thieves arena crew and get the rewards, which we'll talk about. But you've got countless people who every time this comes up, they try out and they try to get on these teams and they try to bump someone who's already on the teams. And then you've got teams that are maybe real life takes over and because these folks aren't getting paid to play like, let's say, a Cloud9 person does, right? There's some financials that we'll talk about for the winning team, but the day in and day out practicing and stuff like that, these players are not getting paid to do so. So life happens, and then you've got this like huge list, including myself, that are free agents that are just sitting there like, hey, bring me in. I want to play with you guys for a little bit. And I can't believe the amount of people that are involved in this, just trying to make a team or just trying to just compete at the top level. It's absolutely insane to me.
Yeah, and that's yeah, another crazy thing is the free agent side, right? So these are all undrafted players who are hungry and want to get the spot and want to get the glory, and it really just does. It comes down to sometimes very unfortunate circumstances where these teams will go out and need to pull free agents. But we always encourage people, if they think they have what it takes, and we encourage everyone to sign up. Because you never know. Like you said, life happens and you never know when someone's going to need a sub or somebody's going to need someone to fill in, whether it's for a scrim or for official match day. But some of those scrim days are the best chances that players will get for that free practice where there's really nothing on the line but to prove yourself in that moment.
Right.
And it's honestly so cool to see how many people, just individuals, even like you said, free agents, are looking to get a part of the action.
Right. And if you're interested in looking into maybe seeing if you have what it takes to be a free agent or have what it takes to get on a team, or more so, if you've got a crew together that you think you are the best, check out notoriousarenaleague.com. They have a website. It's a really nice website. It's evolved a lot since I started watching. And across the top, you'll see the schedule. You'll see registration, where you can register to be a free agent. All the instructions are there, what they need from you, the Discord information. You've got your archives. You've got your standings. You've got their partnered streamers in there, information about them, and ways to support them. Because at the end of the day, and I can't remember what the final total was. At the end of the day, the team who wins, both on the NA side and EU side, get a cash prize. And last season, if I remember this correctly, the winning team in NA got over $1,000, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think it ended up being closer to even around. I think it was $1,400 just for winning the NA side. And the crazy thing about the prize pools is that it's all community funded. So, all the donations that you see, all the bits, all the subscribers, all of that money that we get from the community, then in a sense goes back to the community for those winning teams. And that's just another crazy, awesome thing that we get to now be a part of and help, really spearhead. So, yeah, it can really add up quick.
Right, because you guys now, of course, there's obviously operating costs, there's website costs, there's you guys had the gal and what is Catherine? I can't remember her last name.
Catherine Freya.
Thank you. She did a theme song for you guys. She's the one. If for those of you who don't know, she's the one that did the Sea of Thieves. I call it the official theme song, but We Shall Sail Together. She did a rendition and a brand new song for the Notorious Arena League, which they play during their matches or during coverage or before coverage and stuff like that. But yeah, any sort of support that comes through Twitch, the support link on their website, that goes into the prize pool. And if you want to watch them, you can check them out, twitch.tv/Notorious Arena League. And, they broadcast the scrim nights, which are not official matches. They're for practice. And you get to see some crazy stuff on those nights because that's when teams get to experiment. Right? Because in the official game, you're doing what you know, you're working hard on those cannons and everything else like that. But on scrim nights, when you get to see the crazy stuff, like the crazy board attempts and things like that, just trying to figure out what may or may not work, or what they can or cannot perfect going into a game night to give themselves just a slight edge over the competition. And then any financial support during that scrim night, let's say it's an EU scrim night, we'll go to EU, and if it's an NA scrim night or a NA competition night, we'll go to the NA if that's how I understand that.
Yep, and that's exactly how we break it up. Each day gets designated to a specific league, and then all proceeds, as you mentioned, goes to that specific league on that day.
And EU last season was their first season, and it's super awesome that you guys started to do the prize payout because even though it was their first season, and I'll tell you what, there are some fantastic crews in the EU. I was blown away. I was like, everyone's sitting here PC Master Race, everyone thumps their chest and says NA is the best in the world. Well, if you watch League of Legends, that's not the case. But there are some powerhouses over on that EU side of the NAL, and they got prize payout too. Now again, they haven't been around. Last year was their first year. What was their prize payout?
I want to say, if I remember correctly, that the prize pool for EU got up to around $500,
Which is
so obviously
not bad for
not bad
for
at all.
first year. For first year.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So on top of the prize payout, okay, there was something that I thought was super cool that Rare did for you guys last year. And that is, for the winning team, you get ship cosmetics. More specifically, a set of sails that brandish the Notorious Arena League trophy on the front. Now, was last year the first year that you guys had these sails, I believe?
Yep, we just got them in at the end of season 3, and that, I tell you what, man, if you want to talk about milestones,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was a milestone to be remembered.
Because there's not sponsors out there like Nike and Logitech and all these things yet, right? This is still a very grassroots community driven thing. And so to have the makers of the game say, you guys are doing something so awesome that we're going to design a set of sails with your trophy on it to give out to the winner. So what, right now there's 2 sets of sail. Well, for the 2 teams with these sets of sails, or did you guys also give season 3 their sails as well?
Well, we retroactively gave the winners of season 1 and season 2 the sails. But here's the kicker. The winners of season 3, Quick Reaction Force, were also the winners of season 1 and 2. So realistically, that makes the Notorious Arena League sales one of the rarest sales in the game, because now only with the addition of Odin's Wrath in the EU, around 12 players total, 12, 15 players total only having the sales.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably the rarest cosmetic, I would guess.
I would
12,
think so
15
right about
people,
now.
that would have
Yeah.
to be the rarest. That would have to be the rarest. So so take me through who was the season 1 winner?
Quick Reaction Force. Yep,
Okay.
it was Tart T, Lanky, Unusual Rabbit, Trick, Duke Semperfi at the time was also helming for that team, and there might have been a few other. Oh, Aaron, Aaron XM.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, and those
Season
were
2 same team?
same team.
Okay.
Quick Reaction Force. Yep.
Season 3,
Quick Reaction Force again with
okay.
the except they subbed. So Duke was no longer playing for Quick Reaction Force in
Okay.
season 3, so that made for an interesting lineup in terms of their team and who was playing what role. But they were clearly a dominant force, winning the season back to back to back, proving that they are indeed one of, if not the best crew on the Sea of Thieves.
Now that's season 1, 2, and 3. Same a couple changes to the team, but same team. Same team. It's like, back in the day, TSM winning all those NAs and stuff like that. Teams, season 4 wasn't the same team. Wasn't.
Yeah,
It,
they haven't even they did not even register
right.
for season 4.
So they and that happens. Teams break up, right? So they were out of the picture. So there's now a void. Who's going to be the best team? So who just took so 1, 2, and 3. So who do you think is going to take season 4? Now again, we just had tryouts. So I'm putting you on the spot to tell me who's going to have season 4's victory in the NA, but who's it going to be?
Man, I see a lot of potential in a lot of these teams. We've even had some brand new teams come in during just the last couple weeks of scrims that have been super on top of it. So some of these new teams like Bobby the Bottles, Curse Sales, these guys have really shown up during scrims and even during the qualifiers. The Sloop Deluxe really showed up during qualifiers. I think they took just about every game they played in with first. So, dude, it's hard, man. And a lot of these other great teams like Fighting Falcons, Black Sails, it's gonna be a great freaking, great
What's
freaking
crazy about the names that you just read off? So QRF, Quick Reaction Force, season 1, 2, and 3's winner. That name I remember, right? Because I was watching it. Forsaken Sun, Grave Tides, The Revenants, Booty Wars, Lion's Mane, Blood Tallyman, Big Brain, Shark Bait, Deadly Sirens. Those are names I remember. And guess what? Those were not names that you just mentioned. So you're calling some of these new teams like potentially vying for that top spot. And those were not the teams that people have been following from season 1, 2, and 3. It's crazy that there's so much competition that these new teams are coming in, and some of the old teams are like, well, we're old men now, or we're old women now.
Yep, and it just goes to show, man, that's what we're constantly trying to do, right? The game is always evolving. There's always new players coming in. There's always people with different interests. And it doesn't matter how long you've been playing the game. If you have, a strive for competition and you get a group of guys or a group of gals together that you just work really well with, it can be anybody's game, right? And again, these are all teams that have really just shown up and made a name for themselves during the last couple scrim weeks, and then with the qualifiers, like they made it, right? They're in. So it really does blow my mind, and it's hard to not have to mention some of these names of some of these teams that with some of these guys that you sail with all the time and that you're really close friends with. But hey, man, in the name of competition, it's anybody's game, right?
That's right. When you're trying to be an official style esport recognized by brands for bigger prize pools and bigger backing from Rare or whoever the backers may be in the future, you've got to keep that. You might want to see your friends win, but at the end of the day, if you want to have a legitimate competitive esport where people want to partake in it and you want to get those backings, you definitely got to do that. So I was looking at the website. The website is definitely not updated on the team name. So who is the pro division for NA season 4?
So that's what we get to find out this Saturday. Actually, we have our qualifiers. Yes, sir. We have our qualifier. So that was just the. I'm sorry, that was just the qualifier. Now we have the brawl. The brawls are coming up on Saturday. This Saturday, September 19th. we'll get to see who, kind of finds their way and find their placement for some of these leagues. And let me
So you
let me
had
double check. Last season,
you had 15 cut to 10. Now the 10 will do battle to determine who are the 5 pro and 5 semi pro then.
yep, and we
Okay.
have two
Okay.
stages of brawl. So we have one coming up this Saturday for NA, Saturday, September 19th, and
Talk
then
like a pirate day.
yep. And then on the following week, September 26th, we have stage 2 of the brawl.
Okay.
So after those 2 days of games, we will then determine, depending on points scored in the games, who will then be, like you mentioned, our pro and semi-pro teams.
Gotcha. And again, if you want to watch this, twitch.tv/Notorious Arena League. And what I can say is, yes, the players who win get that nice cash payout. It's, supported by you all out there who watch and support. They get the cool sales, but every single scrim night and every single competition, these brawls included, they do these giveaways. And the giveaways are for this particular piece of a ship set that one, I'm a green and black fan. Like, that's my color set. And the fact that I don't have this yet is very upsetting, considering I have the weapons except the pistol. What do viewers get the opportunity to get just by showing up? They don't have to be a sub. They don't have to throw money. Just by showing up and support, what do the viewers have the opportunity to get?
Just by showing up and engaging with the chat, all you got to do is say, hi, what's up, go my favorite team. Every single viewer gets entered into a raffle in between sets of each scrim night and regular match day to win an obsidian capstan. The
And
sought after
oh,
obsidian
I'm so
capstan.
like I've sat here, like I've talked to some of the commentators like Red and some of your former staff members that life took over and they came in there. I'm like, come on, just slide me one. Come on, I'm here. I'm talking like it's green and black. It's like my thing. And they're like, nope, this is for the. I'm trying to pirate my way to getting one of these, but I'll tell you what, I'm not getting, nor is anyone else getting any sort of privilege in this. We just we have to take part in this giveaway as is. So if you want a chance to get the Obsidian Capstan, make sure you watch this. And if you're a fan of Sea of Thieves and the arena, again, twitch.tv/Notorious Arena League, and that's both EU and NA. We're talking about NA right now. We're going to talk to EU in a second. So who are the top 10 teams that begin their quest to be pro or semi-pro in these next 2 weekends?
So we have the Fighting Falcons, the Blood Tallymen, the Revenants, Curse Sales, Brethren Court, Black Sails, Booty Warriors, the Associates, Sloop Deluxe, and Bobby Bottles.
That's a lot of new names that I have not heard of before. And I hope that no one from what network was it? Was it Stars tunes in because they might hit Black Sails with with a copyright claim. Though it was a really good TV show. Really good TV show. So we're gonna find out in the next 2 weeks who are your pro and semi-pro teams for the NA side of the Notorious Arena League, and how long will season 4 go for NA? How many weeks can folks be expecting to tune in and watch these crazy scrims and these amazing competition battles?
So this season of NA goes about 6 weeks. So our grand finals are set to take place on November 14th. So we have a wide window of opportunity for anybody to catch in on some of the scrim nights, the league days, all kinds of good stuff. So like I said, so we're going to be going for about 6 weeks here. And the final or the grand finals rather are set to take place on, again, November 14th.
Nice. So mark your calendars. I know I'm going to be there because like I said, I'm fascinated by what, like, I think I'm more of an entertainer than I am a fighter in this game, but I have fun and I'm decent at it. These guys blow my mind when it comes to fighting on the seas. So let's walk over, swim over, take a boat over, whatever you want, to the EU side. Who was the winner of season 1 of EU?
So season 1 of EU came down to the very, very last game, last few minutes. But I'm very, very proud to say that our very own cutthroat team, Odin's Wrath, took the grand finals. They placed first by about 1 point of our scoring system, and took the crown of season 1 EU champion. So
I
again,
was
Odin's Wrath.
watching the last 2 weeks or so of EU, watching these teams flop back and forth at first, match after match, week after week. It was a nail biter to the finish for the EU NAL. Absolute nail biter. It was crazy. Crazy.
Oh yeah, and
Now, if I recall, now correct me if I'm wrong, because I was watching the EU side of things, because like I said, I love it. Odin's Wrath is actually folks from North America, aren't they, competing across the lake, or are they an EU team? Because there is an NA team that meets in EU.
correct. Yeah. So Odin's Wrath is all EU players.
Okay.
They're one of the few international teams. So a lot of these teams in EU are actually all players from the same country or region, which is pretty cool. But then now we have several new teams emerging that are international. Obviously spanning across multiple countries. But Odin's Wrath was definitely one of those teams that was an international team.
And if you are fans, so some of these teams, I'm gonna name off a couple teams, and then we'll go to who we're looking forward to and who we will see next season for EU. But last season for EU, we had Odin's Wrath, the winner, right? We had Back to Skull, Chaos Corsair, Sea Raiders, Bafos Crew. I always screw this one up. Is it Loch de Grog? Is that Lark? I'm
Larg de Grog. Yep.
Okay, I was like, English is barely my first language. Loss. I. What was that? Loss. Let's see. This is. Okay. And Iron Dogs. See, I got Iron Dogs. That one I got down. Okay. And I apologize for any international listeners out there. I barely speak English, and if you're expecting me to say something in your comment, I'm going to screw it up until I say it a few times. Now, some of those names for listeners who tune into other other kind of competitive Sea of Thieves stuff, you'll recognize some of those teams, right? They're in the NAL, and they're competing for that prize payout. They're competing for those sales. But these guys are competitors, and you're going to see them out there on the seas in a variety of different things. And some of these teams, this is obviously NAL's focused on Galleon, but you'll see these teams break apart and do sloop on sloop actions and stuff like that. These guys are super competitive and super crazy good. So who are our teams for season 2 of EU? Or do we even know?
We actually had quite a few more teams sign up for the EU League. So we actually have our first qualifier for EU coming up this Sunday.
Okay.
And we actually have 12 teams that have signed up. So we'll have 3 lobbies of 4 for the qualifiers. We have Mashed Piratos, Octaviant, Odin's Wrath once again, Sea Raiders once again, Bafos Crew's coming back, Chaos Corsairs coming back. We have Shtika, they're a Russian team. We have Hostel, Back to Skull. We have Yuna, who we've seen also try and compete in the NA qualifiers. We have Naglfar, Born on Boat, and the Crab Lords will all be competing this Sunday for the EU qualifier.
I also want to state, so if you guys, again, if you've never heard of the NAL and you've never seen it before, these guys do an amazing production where all the teams get to create their own. Think of it like a WWE Jumbotron intro video with music and everything like that. And these guys get super creative. And I believe, was it Baffo's Crew that they were all on the galleon, they walk out of the captain's quarters and they make the 2 lines? Was that who had that video?
Yep, Baffo's Crew was one of our Italian teams, a little bit more organized than some others, but really high production.
The Italian teams in the NAL or the NAL. Oh my God, the Italian teams are crazy awesome. Like, they're nutso good. But
we had Baffo's Crew and Chaos Corsair representing.
That's right, Chaos Corsair, because that was like the Italian versus Italian like rivalries. And then Odin's Wrath had a rival in there with someone. Who were they kind of like
Well, they were kind of trading some blows and going back and forth with Back to Skull. That seemed to be
Yes,
their rival.
yes, Back to Skull. Yeah, what did they end second last year? Right? They
Yep,
came in okay.
Odin's Wrath took them by 1 point in the
1
very
point.
last game of
Yeah.
EU Grand Finals.
But the Baphos Crew video, the reason I was so intrigued by it. So when I first started playing Sea of Thieves, only about 7 or so months ago, I saw someone with a captain's coat on, and it was green, which we already know I love, and it was kind of ripped, and it had this cool little green skull pin on it. And I was like, that is, and it was full length, right? It went from top to bottom. And I play a Chungus pirate, right? There are not many things that go on a Chungus pirate and can look halfway decent. Our belts look like 2x4s, and our coats look like, Fat Man in a little coat with Chris Farley, right? So to see a big coat that goes from head to toe, I was excited. And I said, how do I get this? And it was Fort of the Dam 10 times. So what do? I farm out Fort of the Dam 10 times. And then Bafo's Crew's video hit because I never see this jacket anywhere. And here comes this little short, skinny, old man pirate with like this gray afro come out of thing with the Fort of the Dam jacket on. And I lost my shit because that is my favorite coat in all of Sea of Thieves. And the fact that someone is wearing it in the NAL and such a high level, I'm like, that's my team right there. That's my EU team. Just because the little old man has the shirt. He's probably not a little old man at all in real life, but his pirate is a skinny little old man with a gray afro and my jacket. And I loved it. Loved it. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and and that's the funny part, man, is seeing how some of these teams brand themselves, whether it's cosmetic wise, pirate wise, or ship wise.
Yep.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was sold right there, and they did a damn good job too. 5th place, when you're talking about the competition, 5th place is nothing. even if you don't get very high in the placements, even if you're last place, and you still have to understand, 15th place, 10th place, 8th place, 5th place in the NAL is still leaps and bounds higher than the average arena crew. Like, these guys are absolutely elite players of this game.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I give credit to anyone who has any interest in signing up as a free agent or signing up as a team, because like I said, man, you get what you sign up for. And it is no walk in the park playing in any of these lobbies, playing against any of these teams, whether in an open lobby or not. And then when you get 5 or 4 of these teams in a lobby where it's dedicated to just NAL battles, boy, you better buckle up.
I've had the unfortunate experience to be playing with a crew in a lobby, and one of these NAL teams are practicing. I mean, it's like, yeah, we could go against. We're gonna lose though. Like, we are going to get destroyed. It's like, let's just go find the other people and play with them. We'll let them kind of just shoot cannons at us from a million miles away. They're gonna hit their shots, but we can repair from that. But let's not get close to them because they are bloodthirsty, angry pirates on the seas.
Oh yeah, and well, that's why I encourage everyone to watch the NAL too, man. Because if you're a person who maybe isn't necessarily super comfortable with that kind of intensity or that competition, there is so much you can learn just by even watching some of these folks. We've seen in the NA finals, we've seen QRF revolutionize the fire strat, significantly reduce the time it takes to repair your ship and clear the water, and then we've seen Sea Raiders in the EU at the end of season 1, revolutionize the through the great bucket strat. It's, there's so much you can learn just from watching these players, not even necessarily competing with them or against them, but just watching them on stream is, yeah, man, you get so many new things to add to your playbook with tips and tricks, all kinds of good stuff.
Right. And a lot of people out there, they watch streams of big content creators that play Sea of Thieves, or medium sized or even small content creators. And they see people like Pace. They see people like Kabobbles. They see people like Beardageddon and Boxy and Long Dong Silver and Freemason Live. And what they see are people, swapping servers. They see tucking. They see, That's the PvP that they see is tucking and gun sword combat, stealing loot, sinking ships that way. The NAL is not that at all. There is not tucking involved in the NAL, right? There is boarding, although I will say it's rare, and when it happens, it's amazing because it's crazy. But a lot of it is good ship mechanics, managing your ship, having a captain that knows how to position yourself, having a crew that's watching those ladders, landing cannon shots that literally are from the earth to the moon and they're hitting them every single time, adjusting sails, repairing. And it's crazy to think that, there are two very different, PvP play styles out there, and the eliteness of fighting these NAL players is just crazy. So what I want to talk about next is the mechanics of fighting in the arena in the NAL. So tell me let's go top 5 things that you have to be absolutely elite at when you're fighting in the NAL, like the top 5. They don't have to be in any specific order, but top 5 things, top 5 technical mechanics that you as a player have to just nail to really be successful in this.
Man, I would say first things first, you got to have a good helmsman. The situational awareness, as you kind of already mentioned, is huge, right? So knowing where to place your cannons, where to avoid the broads, how to transition from one ship to the next. We see a lot of third parties come in, get involved. We see not so much boarding now, but when the boarding happens, like you said, it is intense, man. We've seen the meta change from sword to maybe a long range weapon to now the double gunning is really kind of the meta. So when you're battling on a ship to either distract or to get the sink, the double gunning is huge. Deck handing is everything in the NAL. If you don't know how to double XX bucket or sprint cancel with the bucket, these are some tips that really help just sort of revolutionize the game. Another one, and I would say just again, map awareness, just making sure that you're constantly looking for where your next points are coming from, because anytime you're sitting still for even just the slightest bit of time, that another team is scoring points. And really, I would say the final thing, if this is 5, I've been trying to keep track of my hands, but my brain doesn't work like that. Is really just communication, man. Is just having clear, open, calm, calm lines to really make sure, again, where every single person on the ship is at all times. And I know a lot of teams like to use in-game text, but that's one thing that we've, kind of limited just to avoid, certain verbiage and some of the quote unquote toxicity in the community is making sure that we have all voice comms are it, so you don't get to use the pirate wheel, you don't get to use in-game chat, you don't get to use any of these other stuff. So really just making sure that you and your team are on the same page context-wise to know what's happening where on the ship or where on the map.
So, how dare you take away me pirate wheel? I don't even use it anyways. I don't know where things are on it. I'll be honest. So
yeah,
one thing you mentioned in there, and for me, I know I've got some people in my Twitch chat that play with me all the time, but I just want to state that you said it was very important to be a good deckhand. I just want to state that my value on a ship of repairing hulls, organizing barrels, and repairing sails is going unnoticed out in adventure by my crew, but not in the NAL. I am the most valuable person on that ship, chat, okay? I just want to state that. You heard it from VP himself. I am the MVP of my ship because I can repair anything.
Hey man, a deckhand is a lot like a lineman in football, man. Those are the guys down in the trenches. They get no glory, but without the lineman, you're not getting that first down. You're not getting that touchdown. Without a deckhand, your boat isn't staying up. If you don't have a boat in Sea of Thieves, you're not doing anything.
All right.
The deckhand is the most underappreciated role in Sea of Thieves.
Let's not talk about my waistline here. You're mentioning linemen. I know I'm big, but geez, okay. I didn't make the football team. All right. Okay. I wanted to be a quarterback, and they said someone who's 300 pounds can't be a quarterback, and I said why. Okay. So I also want to take a minute and talk about, and I was very happy when they released the Flameheart event in Adventure, because one of my biggest opportunities as a player is cannon shots. And so the Flameheart event has allowed me to better my cannon shots. When I tune in and I watch the NAL, that is something that I am just absolutely blown away at. These crews, um, literally, I make my crew laugh all the time because I always say, as soon as we get into the arena, you have to complete the ass, and that is anchor, sails, supplies in that order, right? That's how I go, right? I say complete the ass, anchor, sails, supplies in that order. But on the NAL, they get the anchor up, the sails are dropped, the supplies are in hand, and I swear, before that ship even starts moving, there's 4 cannonballs in the air in one direction at a ship. Like, the anchor's up, the sails are down, that sucker hasn't even started cruising yet, and the balls are flying and points are skyrocketing, and the ships haven't even really left their starting position. How? How are these guys so good at these cannons?
I would say just practice, man. Like I said, these are guys that are going. You've already mentioned they're not getting paid, right? These are players that are going out with just pure pride, wanting to be the best crew on the Sea of Thieves, just finding the angle. I guess that's one thing I didn't mention in the top 5, right? Is just cannon angle, cannon awareness, knowing where the max distance is, knowing where the angles are. But again, that goes back to comms. You see a lot of these teams calling out, hey, if you aim above the crow's nest, if you aim at the middle wind line, if you aim at right below the wind line, you're going to hit your shots. And that's just something that you get to do or you get to know by doing it over and over and over again. And just, situational awareness, man. I can't harp on that enough. It's just knowing where the ships are, how far away the distance is, again, where the cannon should be angled, but all that comes from just practice, man. These are players that are constantly putting in the work, whether it's in scrim night or whether it's in pub lobbies, because that's where you get the free practice, right? And that's where you get the the kind of unsolicited un you know viewable kind of strats where that's where it all comes from. But I would just say repetition, repetition, repetition.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. A $1,500 prize pool dangling in front of my face might make me hit more cannon shots. I'm just saying that it's a nice chunk of change right there.
It definitely doesn't make me want to not shoot cannons.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So tell me a little bit more, because again, as we said, boarding is intense in the NAL, but it's a rarity. And when people are watching a lot of streams, they're used to seeing every battle, border, every single time. That's what we see in Adventure. That's what a lot of people like to do in Adventure. Tell me why in the NAL that the gameplay has moved away from in like crazy go for the boards now to naval battle and better positioning and spatial awareness and cannon fire. Why did that switch happen? And what has that done to the overall gameplay points and stuff like that in the game?
Well, we see it a lot when, players are constantly, right, you've already mentioned it, cannon shots and naval. Those are where the points come from now. When there's only one chest, okay, there's a lot more to lose, but there's also a lot of time spent when you're off the boat that you're not scoring points. Okay, cool, kills are cool, right? Everybody wants the highlight reel, but 5 points is not going to change the game for you when every single time that you're getting hit with a cannon, the team that you're boarding or attempting to board is scoring 40 points on your team. So that's what we've noticed a lot of teams trying to do is sail management, keep mid and front down or up and, keep just back going so we can, turn a little bit quicker, get the angle. But it really just comes down to points per minute. When 15 minutes is not a whole lot of time compared to the 24 where it used to be. So you have a lot less time to now try and score points. But if you're off the boat, then you can't really do that effectively. And so we've seen that change the whole pace of the game. Occasionally we'll get the boarders who are trying to go for the sink on first place or move up in position because now they're distracting the other team from taking shots and scoring points. And also when they get that sink, now we've just set them back 1,000 points. And when they respawn, they're going to be out of the fight. So again, the points per minute is really what it boils down to.
Right. Right. It's math, folks. It's math. I know no one likes math except mathematicians, but it's math. 40 is more than 5, right? So in the time that you can kill 5 people on that boat, 5 times 5 is 25. 1 cannonball is 40. 1 cannonball equals more than 5 kills. It's simple mathematics. So that's why. And everyone who plays Arena and all that they're doing is boarding, you're wrong because you don't know math. Okay. 40 is more than 25. And I can shoot more cannonballs at you before you respawn. Just saying. Okay.
It's
Go
all
ahead and make
facts,
that
dude.
clear.
It's all facts. Numbers are hard, but it all makes
They
sense if you
are
don't think
hard.
about it.
Numbers are hard. So the other thing that people might not understand, and I've gotten in verbal discussions and arguments in my Twitch chat. I've unfortunately had to ban some people for toxicity in my Twitch chat because they don't understand this. And if you watch the NAL, you're going to see this and you're going to say, "What the hell are they doing?" Scuttling, right? Now, last season, the scuttle was a little more prevalent than it is now, but scuttling is still happening. And more so in the EU, there's definitely some teams who use the scuttle early in the game to reposition themselves and stuff like that. So some people get irritated because when you scuttle, they say, "Oh, you sunk. You guys suck. You sunk, whatever." Tell me why a scuttle is important in the arena and how that can be the difference between a team that wins and a team that loses.
Yeah, so scuttling is a great opportunity. I say that, for what it is. It's an opportunity to be able to reposition your ship. So obviously you're going to sink when you're going to respawn. We've seen this used a lot when teams are sort of trapped. They may be getting sandwiched, all their sails are down, they can't move, they're just taking heavy fire. So again, if you take yourself out of that situation, you stop the other team that you're competing against from scoring points. So as soon as your ship scuttles and you hit the mark, you ding, they can no longer score points. Yes, you lose 1,000 points, but depending on your position on the leaderboard, it's a great opportunity for you to reassess, fill your pockets, get extra special balls if you need them, get extra planks if you're running low. Obviously, reset your supplies if you're running low, but it's just an opportunity for you to evade getting scored on while now also opening up positions for you to now go and score on someone else.
Right. And I noticed some people in the EU, they'll scuttle right off the bat. And for a while I was like, why are they doing that? And you and Red and a couple other commentators picked up and they said they're scuttling because of their position. Their position are maybe they're between two boats, right? So they're going to be taking long range fire from two boats, so that's upwards of 8 people. They only have 4, so they can only fire back 2 on each side. So again, it's numbers, it's math. You're going to be taking a lot more shots than you can dish out. So you scuttle, reposition yourself, and then you are in a better place to engage and engage in the battle. You're not in the center now. You can be on the wings or whatever, and work yourself into the battle so it's more advantageous for yourself.
Oh yeah, yep. Again, it really harping on it, but it just boils down to situational awareness, right? And before we seen Rare, in one of the more recent updates where they gave now hundreds and hundreds of cannonballs at
Right.
the start, we've seen teams now starting off with 40 additional supplies by gathering their pockets, filling their pockets, and then resetting
Right.
to now have an additional amount of resources to then score even hopefully more points when they reposition themselves.
And some people out there is like, well, Rare put the update in where you now get like 500,000 cannonballs. Why on earth would 40 more cannonballs matter? Watch the NAL once and you tell me that those 40 cannonballs don't matter, because I've seen 15-minute games, 15,000 points, and some of these crews are like, we're digging to the bottom of the barrel on these cannonballs. Like, those 40 cannonballs, if you're scuttling right off the bat to get those 40 extra ones, those could make a difference, because some of these score lines are so tight in the end. And I'm not talking 1,000 to 2,000 points. That's like all the points that, no, I'm talking teams with 8, 9, 10, 15,000 points on this scoreboard at the end of the arena. Like, those 40 cannonballs could make a difference between if you win or you lose.
Oh yeah, and it all boils down to that last minute, man. And like I said, we've seen it in a perfect example with Odin's Wrath in that last game of the EU Grand Finals. The very last minute, you don't stop. And it's funny enough, we actually did see a board by Foxtrot, but man, you really take advantage of that timing and you just don't stop shooting cannons. We've actually seen an entire new switch in revolutionizing what is called as the M1 spam. We see teams constantly trying to reload, and as soon as they see, that wick at the end of the cannon, boom, click, 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 just to shoot cannons as fast as they can. It boils back again to that points per minute. How fast can I shoot my cannons to how fast can I score points?
Yeah, so all you people out there yelling at sword players about sword botting, yeah, come in and yell at these guys about cannon spamming. Because I promise you, before you even get cannon spam out of your mouth, you're going to take a cannonball to your face. Okay, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get that sandbag sound, and then you're going to think, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said something. Because these guys are deadly accurate with these things. Like, if they don't want to sink you, like that's the thing that amazes me when I watch these guys. If they don't want to sink you, they're not going to sink you. They're not going to hit shots to sink you. If they want to kill you off the cannon so they can just farm your ship, they're going to literally snipe you with their cannons off your cannons. If they want to put mid-deck holes in to prepare for a sink, they're going to put mid-deck holes in. If they want to damage your wheel, your capstan, your sails, whatever they want to do to your boat, they're going to do to your boat. The other side is you have to then counter and do whatever, you want to do to their boat. But these guys don't mess around when it comes to, they have a plan. They know what it takes to win the highest silver, regardless if that means scuttling or maybe even going after the chest. It has been done. Whatever it takes, these guys are going to do it, and they know that to win the game, you've got to hit those cannon shots, and you've got to make sure your spatial awareness is correct. So I'm glad that you were able to talk to us about that, because so many people enter the arena, and if you don't hear them say right out of their mouth TDM, 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 then most likely they're just going to be trying to board you all day long, and they have no concept of winning, and then they get irritated because maybe you scuttle and then you come back and you win or whatever, and they just get so bent out of shape instead of actually understanding that it's not about what you're doing right now in this moment. It's about the bigger picture and winning by having the most silver. And I can promise you, these guys in the NAL, if you're going to take a cannonball to the face if you say TDM to them. I'm sure many of them like to do the team deathmatch, but they know they can win against anyone. And it's like, why? Why do that? We need to make a TDM mode, Joe Damage says in chat. Yeah, that's probably true, but that's for another day. That's for another day. I get so a little off topic here for a moment. So when I see someone say TDM in arena, I said, yeah, of course we're in the arena. Team, my crew, death, my ship versus yours, who sinks first, match, the arena match. We win by having the most silver. Look, we're TDMing. It's a TDM. It's just ship versus ship instead of player versus player. I don't understand why people don't get this concept. I don't know. That's just a rant for another
Me either, man. Me either. If I wanted to play TDM, I'd go play Halo. Go play COD.
I'm glad you didn't say Fortnite. I'm glad you didn't say Fortnite. So again, if you want to check out the NAL, again, it's notoriousarenaleague.com is their website. You can see their partnered streamers. You can see some highlights here. You can register to be a free agent. You can get a team together and register for that, though the qualifiers for NA are already over for this season. So look towards next season for that. EU's qualifiers are coming up. Again, look to next season if you would like to get a team registered. But by all means, sign up as a free agent. Get in there and see what it's all about. You can check out their schedule. You can check out the vault of information, learn more about them. You can even support them on the website. But you also want to make sure you check out twitch.tv/notoriousarenaleague. Follow them, turn on your notifications so you can freaking see these crews go at it, because it is like art watching this, and you will learn a lot. And as VP mentioned, there's been a lot of arena things that have been innovated by this group. For example, the water out the grate, right? That was something that came up in the NAL, right? The XX bucketing, stuff like that. Things that people now do or teach other people to do and think they're really awesome. A lot of it came from the NAL and teams on the NAL that do that. So VP, this is going to be your moment to plug yourself, plug anything you want. I'm sure you're going to plug the Cutthroats. Plug anything you want. Tell anyone listening here where they can find you if you stream or anything like that. Tell them whatever you want, except you can't tell them I'm a bad person because I'm not.
Oh man, I'm so bashful. No, first of all, Davern TV, great freaking guy. Great freaking guy. But yeah, man, I appreciate the opportunity. But I do just want to plug, my boys over at the Cutthroat Pirates. A great place to hang out, a great family to spend some time with, sail the seas, take all the booty. No one is safe here, for these are our seas, man. That's what we're all about at the Cutthroat Pirates. But yeah, man, I'm also a small Twitch streamer. We're on the up and up. We're coming. We're grinding. You can find me at twitch.tv/yourmanvp. Find me over on Twitter as well for the most up-to-date streaming information. That's just at yourmanvp. But yeah, man, Devin, I just really appreciate this opportunity, man. It's been a lot of fun getting to talk with you, pick your brain a little bit, get to pick mine about the NAL. But it's just a super awesome organization, and it's crazy to see how far we've come. I was actually my first term as Pirate Lord was when we kind of plugged and started the NAL. We had 10 teams. We ended up finishing with 8 in that season. And now to see it where we're at now with, the broadcast and the cash prizes and now the freaking sales in the game. Like I said, man, talk about a milestone. It's been an awesome freaking journey. And we're just getting started, quite frankly. So it's going to be amazing to see where we take it. And it's really all for the community. So I just thank all the listeners, everyone who has been out here supporting the NAL, supporting Davern. It's great to see it, man. And that's really what the Sea of Thieves community is all about. And that's what's been awesome about all of this. So I just appreciate the opportunity, my man.
Well, I appreciate your flexibility in getting this done because I know my schedule's been crazy, your schedule's been crazy. So thank you very much. I'm sure the folks that are not only in the Twitch chat as we can see, but folks on YouTube, folks on the Pirate Talk Radio podcast, they'll enjoy this episode. But just remember, he's not your man VP, he's my man VP. So back off. You can catch my stream every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/DavrimTV. You can check out my Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, Davrim TV there. And make sure, if you haven't done so already, Pirate Talk Radio on all your apps out there, hit that subscribe button. Pirate Talk Radio is supported by fans like you. So if you would like to support this broadcast, please go over to patreon.com/DavrimTV. VP, thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you on the seas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.